Hey guys, this is Coach D from Bushwhackers Academy. We're going to go over through some percussion techniques, some hand grips, also rebounding, upstroke, downstroke technique, and we're going to refer to our book that Jesse Mel has made for us. All right. We're going to review our playing position for flathead drums. The easy way to check this is to create a 90-degree angle, beat to beat, and then you're going to bring the beat down to the center of the head. I'm going to try to say about 2 fingers off the rim on both sides. Now we're going to work on our stroke types. The first stroke is going to be a legato stroke. Think of it as if you have a basketball and the amount of velocity that you put into the ball once it hits the ground and it comes right back up, it depends on what you're putting into the ball as far as velocity. We have our stick, okay? And the bead, the objective here is to make the bead rebound. So the velocity stroke is going to come from the wrist turn and for the stick to come back up. The next stroke is going to be our downstroke. It's basically stopping the stick from rebounding. But we want to be sure that we're not choking the sound off by squeezing the stick. We want to use the amount of velocity or energy that the head is giving back to you. You want to be able to absorb it right in your hand. As you can see, I'm not squeezing the stick. I'm not squeezing the fulcrum. I'm just simply allowing the stick to vibrate and absorb all of the shock in my hand, where I'm feeling it on the pads of my fingertips. The next thing that we'll be discussing is our grip. The most important thing in our grip is establishing a good fulcrum. This is your fulcrum between your thumb and your first finger. Here, this will probably be the most pressure that you'll have on the stick. But a lot of inexperienced players think that you have to pinch or constantly squeeze this area while playing. That's inaccurate. You're working too hard just to establish a grip on the stick. Just want to have enough pressure where if you were to do a slight pull, that the stick is not going to come out of your fingers. Just enough. And then you simply want to just wrap the rest of the fingers around the stick comfortably. Another thing that we tend to do is have too much pressure in these fingers. You don't want that. You want to make sure that these fingers as well, that they are very relaxed and not tense. You don't want any tension in your hands. It should be very relaxed with your fulcrum establishing hold of the stick. Just like this. Same thing would go for the left hand. Our traditional players, with the traditional grip, you want to establish a fulcrum between your thumb and your finger right here, right back here, with a slight squeeze. Again, you don't want to be drumming with this constant squeeze right here. Just enough to simply hold the stick, see? Where the stick is not going to come out, okay? Then from there, you're going to take your ring finger and establish where you will hold it. Wrap this pinky finger just underneath comfortably. Relax. Wrap this pointer finger straight across, connecting to the thumb, and then comfortably your middle finger on top of the stick. This grip should be relaxed. You should have no tension at all in your hand while playing. If you have tension in your hand, what's going to happen is you're not allowing the stick to resonate or vibrate in your hand. By doing that, then you're going to have a choked off sound from the snare drum. Watch. Very, very tight. Choked off. Very, very relaxed. Now we're going to refer to the book by Jesse Mel, Total Musicianship. It's a great book. It has everything you need to know to become an excellent drummer. So we're going to check out page 8, lesson 3, quarter and eighth notes. Okay, in this bar, these bars you can see there's 4/4 bar that holds 4 quarter notes inside the bar. Then there's eighth notes that fill in to the quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4 eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then obviously these are the rest notes, which is quarter note rest, rest for 1, rest for 2, rest for 3, rest for 4. The next bar, same thing, rest for 1, rest for 2, rest for 3, rest for 4. It's important that you take this simple exercise at a very slow tempo. Page 8, lesson 3, quarter and eighth notes, the top exercise. Now I'm going to count out loud while playing. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now remember the stick clicks is going to be the rest for the last 2 bars at the end. Now we're going to go into vocabulary number 1. Right now the metronome is at 80 beats per minute, and we're going to count right through this. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3. Rest. Now I'm going to play the exercise. Vocabulary 1, lesson 3, quarter notes and eighth notes on page 8. I slowed down the tempo so that way you can get a clear and slow count where you can play along with me. The metronome is at 66 beats per minute. Exercise number 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, play. Rest. 1. Okay. So you kind of hear I kind of a little ahead of the metronome. Kind of hard to hear. So maybe I can see it. One more time. 1, 2, 1, two, ready, play. 4, 1. Now we're going to refer to page 100 at all warm-ups. We're going to look at letter A. Okay, legato stroke. Okay, we have to make sure that we have a nice continuous relaxed motion. We're not stopping the stick and the stick is rebounding from right to left. So I'm going to count for you letter A. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, play. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 stop. Okay, so we got to pay attention to the sticking. Obviously, R is for right hand, so it's right hand all the way through till you see the left. Okay, the L for the left, and then you switch to the left. Now I'm going to play it for you. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, play. Okay. We play it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. I like to push on to warm up number 2A, legato 16ths. Okay, so here we're starting off with a bar of eighth notes, straight rights. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, all right hands. Then you're gonna rest, beat 2, 3, 4. Whenever you see a rest like that, that means you rest for 2 beats. An easy way to think about it is if you see a hat, which it could look like a hat, then that's 2 beats of rest. The next section is going to be 16th notes. Now first, how do you count 16th notes? Well, we know in eighth notes there's 1 and, so eighth notes always fits into a 16th note. If you take the second beat away and you take the last beat away, you're left with eighth notes. 1 and, right where the R is. 1 and. So how do you count the 16th notes? 1 E and That's a 16th note. So I'm going to count 16th notes for the whole bar. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1. If you notice, again, there's right hands that are in here. The right hands are playing actually this. If you remove your left hand, you're left with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Then you add in the left hands in between. 1 Eana, 2 Eana, 3 Eana, 4 Eana, 1. Now I'm going to play it for you. One, two, 1, 2, here we go. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, stop. So we're going to do a recap. First, We discussed our playing position. Then we went into our stroke types, which is stopping the stick and letting the stick rebound, legato, staccato, or upstroke, downstrokes. Then we discussed how to count our eighth notes and our quarter notes, okay, and then also our 16th notes. It's important that you guys actually practice what's in this book, okay? It's a very, very, very excellent book. This will get you to the next level. You will achieve with this book. But in order to achieve, you must practice. Make sure you set aside time to practice. That way you're able to achieve your playing goals. All right, it's Officer D, and I'll see you next time.